like 18 minutes ago, but I didn't. And here we are. And it's time for Rolling Solo. One of these days, we'll have like intro music or something, maybe if I get some put together. Hard to do on Twitch when I'm doing this live. Oh, hey, my mobile dashboard is live. That's great. So welcome to Rolling Solo, a Daggerheart actual play solo tabletop role-playing game campaign where we follow the adventures of our stalwart elf guardian, Arianne, as she attempts to really recover her life and figure out what to do after being kicked out of her clan. So far, she has found brief purpose in protecting the Princess Kolbrá, Einar's daughter, alongside Kolbrá's bodyguard, Ursula. Those are things that are happening in the campaign so far. Before we get started with the campaign, I just want to mention that this video was created using the Darrington Press Community Gaming License. The Daggerheart Open Beta Materials are owned and copyrighted by Darrington Press, LLC. All rights reserved. This video is based on the following public game content created and owned by Darrington Press. Daggerheart Open Beta Materials, Darrington Press, LLC, 2024, available at daggerheart.com. This product is also adaptive from or based on content created and owned by Darrington Press. Daggerheart Open Beta Materials, Darrington Press, LLC, 2024, available at daggerheart.com. Why have I had to read all of those things? I don't know. That's just the legal stuff that they have on the website, and I want to read it all. If you're watching this on YouTube, like and subscribe. If you're watching this on Twitch right now, even as we speak, hi, welcome, good time zone. I should be able to tell if you are and you're not, but you could be. Other than that, let's go ahead and get started. So, last week, we had our three heroes had come to a tavern in the sleepy town of Trefoya. They have found rooms at Heart's Hearth, a random tavern in the town. Their whereabouts were discovered by the Master Assassin, a shadowy figure whom we have seen, but we do not know what their role is in society or why they want Kolbrá dead. But we do know that they do, because they sent assassins to try and kill her. The assassins managed to put Ursula down. Kolbrá revealed a hitherto unrevealed talent for magic, blowing one assassin out a window and killing them. And then Arianne was able to come in from an adjoining room and finish the job. We then had to wait until dawn because we forgot that we had healing magic and Ursula was unconscious. And as we woke up, there was a brief discussion, and the question that was raised was, do we know anybody in this town who is trustworthy? And the answer that the dice gave us was yes. And we rolled for it, and on our roll, we decided that we had to make a secondary roll. But that's because we weren't paying attention to the game rules. So you might be curious to know what game rule set we're using. We are using the Solo Adventurer's Guide. Probably in the description, at least on YouTube, I will have the link to where you can find the Solo Adventurer's Guide on Drive-Thru RPG. or you could just go to DriveThruRPG and look up the Solo Adventurer's Guide if you'd like to play using the same rules. Anyway, in looking at the Solo Adventurer's Guide, we decided that some of the mechanics here are that there is a chaos level that you give to a given scene. Well, this scene, one of our characters had died, so we went with a chaos level of 5 on a scale of 1 to 9, which is, pretty darn chaotic, but not absolutely chaotic. We rolled to see if we know anyone in the town who would be trustworthy, somebody who would be a good ally, someone who perhaps would not set assassins upon us. We rolled a 10. I think it's pretty likely that they would know somebody. And if it's likely, then that would be a +3. +3, or I think we might have even said, we'll just go with a +3, which gave us a 13, which we went with to say that there would be something that would happen, which would be a negative event. But that's the only negative, that only happens if it's a natural 13. We didn't roll a natural 13, there is no negative event. Then we roll the negative event on our chaos die instead of on the d20, which would give us an even less accurate. We're not really playing the game. And one of the reasons to use a rule set is to help you build fiction, which is where we're at. So we're going to retcon just a little bit because we can. And we're going to start with that 10 on the die and that question. The question is there someone in this town who we believe we can trust? We think our chaos level is about 5. We roll our 10. We add a 3 because we think it's likely that there's somebody in town who they believe they can trust. This is a princess of the realm, and her main retainer and bodyguard, who probably has a lot of connections, especially in the hierarchy of the royal guard or the royal army. So probably there's at least one person in this fairly large town, it's a town of several thousand people, who she believes is trustworthy. So being likely, we add a +3, we get a 13. A 13 is a yes. So the DC on Oracle checks in this system is always 11. So yes, there is somebody in this town who we believe that we can trust. The question is, at this point, would be who? Who do they think they can trust? And I think the answer to that gave this some thought. But we'll say, is it someone who Ursula can trust? Or is it someone that Kolbrá can trust? And we will use a slightly modified mechanic, which is our hope-fear mechanic, just to get a 50-50 on this. And we will say, we're going to give hope to Ursula. We're going to give fear to Kolbrá. There's an 11 on hope. There's a 12 on fear. There is someone in this town whom Kolbrá believes that she can trust. Canonically, she does not have any family. So who is it that she thinks she can trust? So let's go ahead and make another Oracle check. We will say, is the person who Kolbrá believes she can trust. We know it's not family. Is this someone who was, and we'll use hope and fear again. Why not? Is this like a contemporary, a friend, someone she grew up with? Is this someone who is an instructor, a mentor, or a tutor? And we will give instructor, mentor, tutor to the fear die, and we will give friend or contemporary to the hope die. Okay. So that is a 6 on the hope die and a 5 on the fear die. So that would be a contemporary. Somewhere in the town of Trefoya, there is a contemporary of Kolbrá's who Kolbrá believes that she can trust. Okay. Well, I mean, Kolbrá is not very old. She's like 20-ish, 21-ish. She's younger than Arianne. Definitely younger than Ursula. Ursula's probably in her mid-30s to 40s. So let's see. We will give fear to, this is an ex-girlfriend. We will give hope to, this is just a childhood friend. So, hope, childhood friend, fear, romantic. That is a 3 on the hope die, but only a 2 on the fear die. Somewhere in this town, Kolbrá has a childhood friend whom she believes is trustworthy. Okay, so let's build this character. This is a childhood friend, so she's going to be about Kolbrá's age. I'm going to say Kolbrá is within, let's say she's within 4 years of, we'll say she's within 4 years of 23. 1 through 4 is a count down, and we'll use 24. So 1 through 4 is a count down, and 5 through 8 is a count up. 8. Kolbrá's 28. Interesting. So, she is older than I thought she was. She has led a uniquely sheltered life. That being the case, her friend is probably, and let's get some deets on her friend. First, let's get an ancestry. Her friend is an elf. We're going to say her friend is about her age, so late 20s. Let's see. Her friend is either, let's get gender. 5, so that's female. Okay, so there is a female elf who is about Kolbrá's age. You know, while we're doing ages, let's use the same rules for Arianne. That's a 7. Arianne is 27. So we're basically describing Arianne, only interesting. We said friend contemporary. So is there someone in this town who Kolbrá feels that she can trust? The dice say yes, and the dice say that that is says it's Arianne, really, but it doesn't have to be. So we'll just go with this as a childhood friend who is an elf, who is about Arianne's age, 27-ish, 28-ish, contemporary of Kolbrá's. Is this a fellow member of the aristocracy? Let's just go with a yes/no on this one. I feel like this is reasonably likely. Who else would she meet? No, that's a natural 1. That is a critical no. So with a critical no, there are some consequences. Critical no. Okay, we're going to have to look up what it means if we roll a critical no. Let's just search for critical. No, seriously, search for critical. Critical no. Something that completely contradicts the idea that this is a member of the aristocracy. Okay, so this would be like a member of the serving class, I guess, or a servant in the castle. Yeah, let's get all upstairs, downstairs with it. Why not? Classism is fun. No. If we're going all upstairs, downstairs with it, the thing about, like, if you read like Regency stuff, or if you watch Upstairs, Downstairs, you look at this stuff. There's like this weird relationship between the people who live in the gentle person's house, in the member of the aristocracy or the upper class's house, their servants and so forth, where they have this like odd symbiosis to them. But the people who are really weird in that universe are the merchants, the people who make their money in trade. They're rich, they're wealthy, but they're given this kind of completely different feel to them. So this person is the daughter of a merchant. This just happens to be somebody who, through money and some influence, was able to be educated in some of the same areas as Kolbrá, and therefore Kolbrá is, and have I been saying Arianne? I might have been. So now we have this this person who is an old friend of Kolbrá's, and she is a merchant. She's a well-off merchant. And her name is going to be, let's see, let's just pick a name off. It seems to be the people in the Kingdom of Ashes have Icelandic names, so we're going to stick with that. And let's go Europe, Icelandic. Let's get female names. Let's just roll for one of these. 2. Okay. Because I hate myself and I want me to have to pronounce weird things. This isn't that bad. Hallborg Valgersdottir. Valbergsdottir? Hallborg. Or Halbor. I don't know if the G is silent or not. If you know, let me know. So Halbor is a... so her father, Valberg, is going to be somebody who has money and is wealthy and therefore might be well known. So this is someone who we will be able to get in touch with, probably by sending a message via the innkeeper or some other means. So Kolbrá will bring this up. She will say, there is one person we might be able to who might be able to help us. My old schoolmate Hallborg. I believe, I know that her family lives in this town. Has Hallborg like grown up and gotten married, or is she like living a single life? Let's roll a flat roll on that. No, she has not grown up and gotten married. She's still living the single life. I believe she's gone into business with her father and is in town. And they are based in this town. Timber. Sure, why not? I mean, based on the location of this place on our map, Timber makes sense. Okay. So how do we get in touch with... so Ursula will remember Hallborg, and will have some idea of whether she trusts this father. She'll have some kind of intelligence on them. I think it's pretty likely that, I mean, most people keep their noses clean. I would say it's expected that this is going to be, there's no, like, nothing that Ursula knows that would make this a bad idea. That's a 5 on the die, but that's a +8 for expected, so that gets us to a total of another 13. So, yeah, Ursula feels confident about this. That's a good idea. So Ursula will say, so that will bring us kind of to the close of that scene. And we're going to go to the next scene with a knock on the door. Because remember, this conversation is happening. The sun is rising. Arianne is standing in such a way as to be not visible through the window, but able to kind of glance through it occasionally, and being boxed in by the, and being next to the door, is still like holding her axe as if she's ready to murder something at any moment. There is a dead assassin. And 15 is a dwarf. Now, there's a dead male dwarf on the ground at her feet, blood on the floor everywhere. Ursula is sitting on the edge of a bed with, blood in the cushions because she was stabbed multiple times. This is a bit of disarray. And they're like, okay, so we will try to find your friend Halberg. At which point, there is a knock on the door. And there is an announcement of who it is. Now, we hope that this is just the innkeeper. We fear... Let's switch dice. Let's have another set for this. Let's do a hope, and you look fearful. Okay. We hope that this is just the innkeeper. We fear that this could be like, the fuzz, the cops, the authorities. Why would we fear the authorities? Because authorities mean hassle. That is a 1 on the hope. That is a 5 on the fear. It is the authority. So there is not a timid knock, but a loud knock on the door. And let's go ahead, since we're starting a new scene, let's roll a chaos die and see if this scene happens as planned. So, my initial idea for the scene, so here's what the play guide says we should be doing for this scene. So, and we'll just go in steps. So, this is our scene. We know it's the fuzz, so the watch comes to the room. This is campaign 3, campaign 2, episode 3. This is like scene 2. How do we expect this to go down? What's our initial idea for the scene? Our initial idea for the scene is that the watch will come, they will have questions, everything will proceed. They're just curious because of the dead bodies. They're expecting trouble, but they're not feeling particularly aggressive about it yet. And then let's make our chaos roll on our D8. That's a 1. So on a 1, 2, or a 3, the scene happens as planned. So there's an authoritative knock at the door, and we get a call out that it is the watch who arrive. Ursula will tell Arianne, Kolbrá, stay put. I will deal with this. She goes and opens the door. We meet the person outside. This is a I think it's unlikely that a very high-ranking watch officer would be here, but I think it seems unlikely. So let's roll. Okay, so that's a 16. Minus 3 is 13. We've rolled a lot of 13s. So with a 13, it is unlikely that this is a highly ranking watch officer, but it is, in fact, a high-ranking watch officer. The high-ranking watch officer is male. High rank. Male. 75. 75 is orc. Name. They will introduce themselves as Octavius Vartnar son. Probably not alone. They're going to be the character we stick with. So there's an authoritative knock at the door. Mine. Ursula says, I will get this. She goes to the door. Yes? This is the watch. Captain Vartnar son, please open this door. She'll open the door. Outside the door stands in half-plate armor a tall, imposing, broad-shouldered orc. With him is a female I gotta have two of them, right? That's an 81. Female orc. A tall, imposing female orc. Whose name is Dacella. Also in this same kind of kind of official half plate. This orc is actually being quite polite. As being the room that he's coming to, he realizes he's dealing with members of the higher classes of society and doesn't want to put a foot wrong. So he comes in and I'm Captain Vartnar son. I have some questions about... And he looks around and he sees the broken window, which he was expecting. They saw that from the street. This is what exactly might have occurred here last night. Ursula is going to reach into her armor, or into a pouch or a pocket. She's going to pull out a seal, a metal seal, which she'll hand him and say, I am Ursula Fran's daughter of the Personal Royal Guard. What happened here was, you'll probably... an attempt on the life of a member of the royal household. Please come in. And the two watch people will nod, and he checks the seal, and the seal kind of identifies Ursula as a member of the royal party. She's not, it's like her CIA badge, basically, or her Secret Service badge. So he has a look at it, decides it's authentic. Should I make her? Let's do a presence roll. Why not? We haven't rolled for anything, really rolled for anything. So let's do a presence roll. I feel like she's got the thing with her, so that'll give her advantage. So we'll roll 2 hope die because we're using the 1.3 rules now. It's the Daggerheart Beta 1.3s. Use purple for fear. And we'll just say that this is presence, and we'll say, let's say it's an 8. It's easy. It's not super easy. He is suspicious. There is a dead body on the ground outside. So we will take the higher of these. That is a 12. But it is a 12 with fear. That's a 5 on the hope and a 7 on the fear die, and I'm just going to take a fear. I don't have a move in mind for right now, so I'll just take my fear. But he does believe her, and will enter the room. She will say, "Please, come this way." And she will lead Captain Vartnarsson and I forgot to give Dacella a last name. Hersesdottir. And Lieutenant Hersesdottir to the she will lead them into the back room, and before doing so, she will sort of say one moment and say, "It's Arianne, they're friends," and come in. And the police are going to take a statement. They are somewhat suspicious of what is happening here. They are given to understand, they immediately, however, recognize Kolbrá. And the reason that they recognize Kolbrá is because it is well known in the kingdom that the Princess Kolbrá is a sickly individual. And whereas to the eyes of an elf or the eyes of a human, Kolbrá is, like regular sized. To the eyes of an orc, looking at another orc, she's clearly emaciated, tiny, and even possibly somewhat sickly. They're not going to see her as being the large-scale, robust, healthy size of orc, because orcs are just built at a larger scale than, say they're not like the size of giants, but they're larger, bigger, broader than, kind of like dwarves and halflings. So she's like smaller, shorter. She's barely 5 feet tall. What is up with this? So they would recognize, kind of, even without being introduced, which they are not. They will recognize who it is that they're dealing with here. And that will adjust their attitudes back a bit. And they're going to be initially a little bit suspicious of Arianne, but I will give her an opportunity to roll a presence roll with advantage. To kind of get them to... it doesn't really matter. Do I have consequences in mind for this? I do. The consequence here is that if they're not convinced that everything is on the up and up with Arianne, they're going to want to bring Kolbrá to the station, or to their headquarters, not because they want to arrest her, but because you have a member of the royal family traveling with almost no retinue. They are with, a bodyguard, an official bodyguard, and that's good. But they're also with this stranger who's not even really from the Kingdom of Ashes. There's some stuff there that technically she is, but she's also not. The Kavadan have their own thing going on. So she's with this barbarian, this Kavadan. There's a consequence here, which is that we will have trouble. So I'm going to say that she needs to roll a presence roll. I'm going to give her a +2 on this roll. I'm going to spend a hope. I'm going to invoke her experience of being a bodyguard, where she just gives off bodyguard vibes. Just the way she stands, the way she moves, the way she positions herself, gives the impression that she is being protected. She has the other things on her side. I'm going to take the advantage away, just roll with fear and hope. And I'm going to say this is a 10. She gets +3 to this. So let's get our 3 tokens. We'll say that Arianne will use pink today. And let's roll and see what happens. Okay, so that is 10, 17, 18, 19, 20. So she rolls a 20 and she rolls it with hope, getting her hope back. So they are convinced that whatever is happening here, they do not want to get involved. But Kolbrá is going to ask them, and I think on the strength of that convincing, she can ask them for information and an escort to the home of they will ask them for the home of an escort to the home of Halberg Val. Ooh, do they want to do that? No. They will ask for discretion and to be allowed to go about their business without an escort. They don't necessarily want to leave a trail. They don't know where they're going. So they will ask for information. It's not so much that they don't want these particular people to know where they're going, but they don't want to spread it around if they can help it. So, reasonably wealthy merchant. It's not that big a town, 7,000 people, 8,000 people. I would say that it's likely that between these two cops, one of them will know where or how to find Halberg, Valberg's daughter, or at least Valberg himself. Yeah, I'll say that this is likely. I'll even say it's very likely. Give ourselves a +5 on this roll. Okay, that's a 16 on the die. So there's no consequences from that, from the natural 16. However, that's a yes. They are able to. So the scene plays out. The police come in. They're initially suspicious. Ursula shows them her badge. They kind of agree on what's going on. They, and we get to the Ursula say she will take Captain Vartnerson. So she will say, Captain Vartnerson, may I speak with you for a moment? And this is while Sela is kind of interviewing Arianne. This is while the decision is kind of being made about what's going on. And so certainly, she takes him out. She says, Captain, do you recognize my charge? He says, of course, anyone. Of course I do. With these assassination attempts, it is critically important. We just want as few people to know that she is here or anything about her movements as is possible. Do you understand? Yes. I have a favor to ask of you. We are looking... Did I just drop my voice to a degree that you guys probably can't hear me? I dropped it way too low. Do you understand? Yes. We are looking for a merchant. Her name is Hallborg Valborgsdottir. Do you know where we could find her? Of course. Roll a 21. Of course. That's easy enough. You and he will give her directions. So that's how that's going to play out. I have to ask you to allow us to accompany you to wherever you're going. It's clearly a very dangerous town. It's not clearly a very dangerous town. We don't normally have this kind of thing in this town, but clearly there's great danger here. I would feel much better if you allowed us to provide you with an escort to visit Ms. Valborgsdottir. No escort. We want as little attention as is possible. Very, very well. And he will reluctantly agree. So we're going to cut. Our two police will leave. We'll finish up the scene. They leave. I think our chaos level stays the same. We need to determine something real quick. Well, we'll get there when we get there. So we can assume that they are able to settle with the innkeeper. We're assumed that they are able to. They have no horses. We determined that last game. We will assume that they will be able to walk to out of this room and to the offices of Hallborg. So they will walk to the offices of Valborg and Dottir, a trading firm that works in timber. So they are essentially going to like an in-town area where business would be done separate from any actual shipping and stuff, but it's in kind of an industrial-ish area of town. And we will assume that along the way, we will just roll a quick check on our chaos die to see if our walking scene happens as expected. And we will regret having such a high chaos level at that point, I'm sure. Okay, so that's a 5. Remove something from the scene. Well, this is a montage of them walking across town. What would we remove from the scene? Okay, let's look at our word clouds and see if anything comes to mind. Let's pick one word cloud. Okay. We've got, here's some words we've got. Sect, pact, balance, mystery, faith, temple, miracle, spiritual religion, wisdom, magic, secret, energy, interior, portal. Does any of that give us any kind of an idea of what we could remove from the scene of just walking? You can remove a person. I don't really want to remove a person. That's one of the few things we've got, though. We could remove their destination. We can remove their secret. They're spotted. Okay. We will remove their secret. It's not so much that they're necessarily spotted by a bad guy. We just know that they are spotted on their way to scene 4. Sorry, 4. Yeah, scene 3. So, they are walking to Hallberg's office. They are spotted by several passerby. So any kind of rumor network is going to eventually get the information of this, what's happening here, probably to our master assassin, who will then be able to kind of track their movements. You know, they sent out a couple of assassins, the assassins died. They don't have unlimited resources. They sent a whole bunch of people who are already dead up the road, so we're going to assume that they don't have the resources to attack right now, but their network of informants will get them the information eventually. And we'll put a countdown on that. Okay. Our master assassin will learn where they went and be able to track them. So, okay, we're at 53 minutes and 58 seconds here. So, not a lot happened today, but I guess that's just how the cookie crumbles. But I think we're going to close it out here. Thanks for watching. We will open next week at the offices of Valberg and daughter, merchants extraordinaire, and we will find out what happens to whether this person can help them acquire what they need, which might be horses, might be a carriage, might be a safe and secret route. We know that, you know, cinematically what happens here is that, you know, we see them walking and we see they're walking with their cloaks, you know, hoods up, kind of incognito mode kind of thing. And as they're secretly walking along, we're going to spot, like, you know, perhaps a shadowy figure glimpses her face, or, you know, she's spotted, I like this. They're walking along and there are on the streets beggars. This bothers Kolbrá a bit as she walks, using her cane for a little bit of support. She's has a sympathy for people who are, possibly through no fault of their own, find themselves in difficult circumstances. She will stop to drop some gold or some small change into the cup of a beggar, and the beggar will get a full-on look at her face and sort of be taken aback a bit. Somehow this person recognizes her on sight as being who she is, and begins to say something and then stops as she recognizes that he recognizes her as but we get the feeling that this rumor will now spread, and that's where that happens sort of cinematically. We close our scene there. So we will open at the offices next week. Thanks for sticking with this for this long. I appreciate it. Sorry there was no exciting combat today, but I wanted to get more into the mechanics of just how this system works, and advance our story a little bit, which we have. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. Until I see you again, keep rolling.